EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martins here with your outlook for December 22nd, 2022. I got the clouds behind me today because I really don't have an image that I can show you that shows sleet, snow, freezing rain, all at the same time. So, going to be cloudy today. We're going to have all of those affecting the region today. Not so much the sleet so much, but the other three that I mentioned. But either way, today we're going to have the storm system moving in. It's going to be over a 2-day period, and I'll cover that in detail here in today's video. North Penn Car Wash at Lansdale, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania sponsors the Thursday video forecast. Keep your vehicle looking great all the time and stop wasting your money on those costly individual washes with North Penn Car Wash's Unlimited Car Wash Club. You can join at a very low price starting at just $13.95 per month. And it's the only place where weather doesn't matter. You can wash your car or truck as often as you like within the calendar month for one low monthly rate. And it just so happens, not only this system, but this is just the start of winter. We're going to have a lot of road salt and brine and, just slop from whatever's on the roads getting on your vehicle right after you washed it. So it's no worry with the North Penn Car Wash Unlimited Car Wash Club. You can just stop by as often as you like within the calendar month to get a fresh wash for that one low monthly rate. They are North Penn Car Wash, 986 Sumneytown Pike in Lansdale, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Proud sponsors of the Thursday video forecast. Now, if you look at the temperatures above me, you're like, what, snow, huh? 40 to 52 is the temperature spread. Same thing tomorrow, 42 to 50. There will be snow on both days. The reason you're getting that is because these highs that you're getting today are going to be on either side of midnight, really, okay? And I'll show you the temperature spread here. It doesn't really get too warm during the day today. We are going to have snow coming in to our central PA areas mostly, and then eventually north central and northeast PA as this spreads northward. The rest of us in our southeastern areas are looking at rain, okay? I'm going to give you the broad overview of the system first before we get into closer detail with the NAM and some others. But you're going to have this change over to rain everywhere. That's going to do so by later this afternoon, okay? So we start off in the morning with this already. It's going to start off kind of early in our southern areas, and that's why, because it's coming in early, that you have the opportunity with the cold air in place from the night before to start off with with snow or winter mix, at least at the onset, okay? Then we get the system moved through. It's going to rain through at least part of the overnight, probably most of the overnight, and then we taper to showers later in the night, and then there's going to be a lull in here. Talked about this all the last couple of days. I'll show you in more detail here in the NAM in a minute. There goes my marker again being huge. I don't want it to be. But you have that little bit of dryness that's going to come in between there, which is about 3 hours or so in length, okay? Let me change the size of this before I mess up next time, and I'll get rid of it. So behind that is you have this Arctic front that's going to move through. We talked about this the last couple of days too. It's no surprise. Once it does so, it's going to lower temperatures very, very rapidly. Now, there is a change today in the wind forecast, or the wind forecast estimates were slightly lowered. It's still going to be very windy, but not 50 plus like it was looking a couple days ago, and that's because the temperature gradient in front of the front itself is not as dramatically different. So before we were going yesterday, we were talking about temperatures going in some areas 52 to 55 degrees on one side of the front, and on the other, an hour later, you're at 32. Well, that's one heck of a drop. The higher the more that temperature is separated, is the higher the wind it gets, right? It has a direct correlation to that. So the temperatures are headed early in the 40s or even upper 30s, and you're only going back down to just slightly below freezing. Yeah, you're dropping, but it's not as ridiculous of a drop. So that temperature gradient makes a difference in this case. And then it's going to blow through here. Some rain changing to snow, looks like more like a squall line type thing. And then you have some residual snow for maybe like an hour or so after the front moves through. And some very minor accumulations in a few areas, and that's it. Okay, we did not make a snow map for this event for Friday. In matter of fact, what we did here is put this up, which is, well, if I can find it. Give me a second. Just had it right here. There it is. There's a snow map. And if you want to go on our weather alerts page, it'll give you a lot more detail if you can't see this. I know it's going to be hard here on the video because it's a smaller format for most of you. But this is generally the rain areas in the green. And then we have a little bit of a mix here in this pinkish area. And we keep stepping up about an inch or so every time we go up further in a different letter. Okay? So that's your areas that we are expecting anywhere from, according to 1 inch, and according to 2 inches in D, and then it keeps going up higher than that. So 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and this is actually 4 to 6 down here in Bedford County area. So, but that is going to come in early enough that it's going to give the snow for those areas. So that's why we have that shown there. That's just the onset snow. Has nothing to do with Friday, right? And there's the total rainfall after it changes over. And actually, it's not even after it changes over necessarily. This is a total rain or rain equivalent. So if you take all the snow you're going to get, there's some liquid content to that, right? So what if you melt that down and make it all rain and then combine it with the rain coming after that, this is what you'd get. So we got a big swath across the heart of our coverage area here with 1 to 1.5 inches and some locally higher amounts possible. I think most of us are in the 1 to 1.5 inch range, however. And then it's a little bit, slightly less than an inch down here in southeastern areas and far northwestern areas. But that's it. That's what we got for our projections. So I'm not going to go through all that nonsense today because you guys know where to come and you've been watching this all week and you know exactly what to expect. But we're going to go through some of this. Here is the NAM high-res future simulated radar starting this off at 9 o'clock in the morning. See some snow across south central PA. And at the onset of this, even up places like I-78 might start off as a wintry mix, at least briefly. And we have that indicated in our map too. The NAM came in this evening looking just like our map. Not the snow map necessarily. I don't care what the snow map says. The simulated radar is doing exactly what we thought it was going to do. And you got rain down here. You got a little bit of mix here in the middle. But here's all this snow starting out. And it's going to snow for several hours. And that moves off to the north. And the higher elevations are going to do better in here than other places. But not a whole lot of snow out of this. Before this all changes over to rain, it's going to do so by early evening at the latest. But I think it's going to be a little bit before that. Probably late afternoon, right? Everybody goes over to rain. It rains throughout the night. You get some heavier embedded rain with this in the overnight hours. This is looking at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we start tapering off after that point. And really, you get that dry air wedge in here where you're really not doing. You might get a passing shower or something, but this is that dry air wedge. Really nothing going on here at this point. Good thing my arrow is the right size. But here comes the Arctic front behind this, and this is what it does. It moves across Friday morning. This is not going to take a long time to come through. So it's kind of like a 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. window from our far southwestern areas here in south central Pennsylvania until it makes the northeastern coast of New Jersey here. Once it exits, about 1 o'clock. Okay, so it just keeps going through here. And you see what it does. You get some rain, and then it mixes with and changes to snow, and then it ends as snow. As you continue moving this forward here, you can see that, right? Not a lot of snow here on Friday. We're probably not making a snow map for it, but you can see where the areas are on Friday that are getting snow. So I would have to say that if I'm going to put an area that's going to get it, this entire area here can get a coating to an inch of snow or better. And then when you get up in these higher elevations up here in these areas, it could be a 1 to 2 inch deal up here, right? So this is all like coating to an inch type stuff down here with that Arctic front as that changes over from rain to snow. And then that's it for precipitation. That's it. But the other side of that is you're going to have the wind increasing. And that's because the temperature gradient that I talked about. Here's the temperatures out ahead of this. You do get a surge here overnight where the temperatures are getting up into the upper 40s to low 50s, maybe some mid-50s here in South Jersey. But then you get to Friday morning, you're back down in the 40s again. This is 43, 44 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning. Here's that Arctic front coming at you. There's not a steep drop-off here this time. Southeast PA is 41, 42, 43 degrees. Up here by Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, you're down to 37 already, and this is in the morning. This is 10 o'clock in the morning before the Arctic front hits. You can see clearly where that is. Here's where the lead of that Arctic air is coming in. So I'm going to take you through this beyond this and just show you, since it doesn't have that, you don't have that big surge in front of it, or the big difference between, temperatures in the 50s going down to the 30s, and you're not going to have that as the winds aren't going to be as great with the initial push as we thought originally. So no 50-plus stuff. With the winds, but we do have temperatures going from you got right before it hits here, it is 41 in Allentown, or 39 right before it hits. The next hour it's 28. Okay, Wilkes-Barre's 37 1 hour, it's 25 the next. The following hour it's down to 17. So it's a quick drop, and then we start leveling off. We get down to 12 3 hours after the front, and it's just a slow drop off after there, and then overnight you're getting down to the single digits, maybe some places getting below 0 up here with this white showing up, or gray, or whatever color that is. I'm not really great at colors anymore. But that's the idea. That's getting very cold, and a huge drop in temperatures as we get into the overnight. That's a flash freeze concern for any standing water, because you do have, as I showed, you do have some rain on the onset of here. Now, you might have some drying in between here, hopefully. But any standing water, before this rain changes over to snow, and the snow itself is going to freeze rather quickly, almost instantly, right? So we get to watch out for that. And here is the wind with this system. It is going to pick up this evening, especially in eastern areas and higher elevation areas in the evening and overnight tonight, part of the overnight, as low pressure is moving by. That's going to end a little bit past midnight. for northern areas, but it could be some gusts over 40 during when that happens, especially in areas of elevation, is what we're targeting for that. And then we're not really too bad all the way through Friday morning. A lot of 15 to 25, 20 to 30 stuff. Here comes the Arctic front, and when that moves through, you're getting a lot of 40 to 45 gusts, not 50 plus. Okay, and that goes all the way through the evening, and then after that, you're 15 to 25, gusting 30 to 35 generally, maybe a few higher gusts than that, higher than 35, between 35 and 40. And that can continue all the way through Saturday afternoon before this finally diminishes late afternoon and into the evening hours, where you come down a little bit. We're down to our planet Earth anyway, with 15 to 25, or excuse me, 10 to 15 gusting up to 25 at that point. So a little bit more manageable. It's going to be very cold wind chills. Wind chills are going to be well below zero. If you're going out Christmas Eve to see family or anything, whatever you're going to do on Christmas Eve, it's going to be brutal with temperatures in and around the lower teens. And if you have 35-mile-an-hour winds, I mean, that gives you a wind chill of like, 12, 13 degrees below zero. That's horrible, okay? So, stay inside this weekend. Enjoy the family inside as much as you can. Hopefully you got everything you needed ahead of time. If you do have to travel, warm up your car first, I don't want to get into PSA lesson here, but yeah, I mean, you guys should know the deal. After this point, once the system passes, it is dry after that point. Once we get past this system here on Friday, it is dry over the weekend. We are partly cloudy and breezy Saturday, very cold with temperatures not getting in the teens in most places, maybe lower 20s for the southeast, and not much improvement here for Christmas Day, but it is mostly sunny, and same thing here for Monday. We're going to watch this little system rounding the bend here for the next trough. Right now it's not showing it doing anything, but there is some energy here. So I want to keep an eye on that for next week, but right now we have partly cloudy skies in the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, and temperatures starting to rebound a little bit, closer to freezing on Tuesday, and maybe above freezing a little bit by a couple degrees here on Wednesday. So we're going to start to bounce out of this, but it's going to be cold for a little while until we get there. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for December 22nd, 2022. Have a great Thursday.